Chosen One. Federal agents are building a case with your name at the center. Ancient spiritual guardians have positioned themselves as your protectors, and someone you've trusted your entire life has been systematically orchestrating your destruction with a precision that would make professional assassins envious. The person responsible for every setback, every closed door, every relationship that mysteriously soured without explanation, they're not some distant enemy or jealous stranger. They've been sitting across from you at family dinners, sharing childhood memories, pretending to care about your well-being while methodically stealing not just your inheritance but your entire future. Your sibling has been playing the longest con imaginable, and you've been the mark from the very beginning. While you've been wondering where all your friends went, while you've been questioning why every opportunity seems to slip through your fingers like smoke, an invisible army has been assembling around you. Not metaphorically, literally. Spiritual guardians of unimaginable power have been standing watch. Ancient Egyptian deities have been working overtime on your behalf, and the deceased loved ones you thought were gone forever have been serving as witnesses to crimes that span both earthly and spiritual realms. But the protection extends far beyond the spiritual dimension. Federal investigators with clearances higher than most government officials have been documenting every illegal move made against you. They know about the forged documents, the bank fraud, the systematic theft of your inheritance. They know about the spiritual manipulation used to poison your relationships and isolate you from potential allies. These aren't random acts of bureaucratic curiosity. These are professionals who understand that what's been done to you represents a level of spiritual and financial terrorism that threatens the very fabric of cosmic justice. They've been building an airtight case because they know that when this truth finally surfaces, it will expose a network of deception so vast it will rewrite everything everyone believes about your family. The evidence they've gathered would shock you if you could see it. Every forged signature, every fraudulent transaction, every moment of spiritual interference has been documented with the precision of a forensic investigation. Your sibling thinks they've been operating in shadows, but those shadows have been illuminated by forces they never knew existed. Every door that slammed shut just as you reached for the handle wasn't coincidence. Every relationship that soured without warning wasn't bad luck. Every financial setback that seemed to come from nowhere wasn't your fault. You've been the target of a campaign so methodical, so perfectly orchestrated, that it took cosmic intervention for anyone to recognize it as the deliberate attack it has always been. Your sibling has been using your own sensitivity against you, turning your greatest spiritual gifts into weapons for your destruction. They understood that someone with your level of intuitive awareness would naturally blame themselves when things went wrong, would question their own judgment when relationships failed, would internalize the chaos being artificially created around them. While you've been struggling to understand why nothing seems to work out despite your best efforts, they've been living off the inheritance that was meant to secure your future. Every success they've achieved, every opportunity they've capitalized on, every moment of stability they've enjoyed has been funded by resources stolen directly from your destiny. Here's where their plan contained the seeds of its own destruction. The spiritual realm doesn't tolerate this level of interference indefinitely, and the earthly authorities have ways of tracking financial crimes that leave digital footprints spanning years. Your sibling's success has been built on borrowed time and stolen power, and both debts are about to come due with interest that will bankrupt everything they've built. The very gifts that made you seem vulnerable have been creating cracks in their deception from the beginning. Every time you've spoken truth, even when it felt like screaming into the void, you've been undermining their carefully constructed narrative. Your authentic spiritual power has been like acid eating away at the foundation of their lies. The attacks against you haven't been limited to the physical realm. Your sibling has been engaging in spiritual warfare, using methods that most people would dismiss as impossible. They've been manipulating energy fields, interfering with your natural magnetism, and using dark practices to ensure that anyone who might become close to you would be turned against you before genuine connection could form. They understood that your greatest threat to their plans would come from finding your destined romantic partner, someone who could see through their manipulations and support you in uncovering the truth. So they made sure that every potential connection would be corrupted before it could develop into something real. Remember that person you felt such an inexplicable bond with, the one whose sudden change of heart left you questioning everything you thought you knew about human connection. That transformation wasn't natural, it was the result of deliberate spiritual interference designed to make them see you as unstable, dangerous, someone to be avoided at all costs. Your sibling has been positioning themselves as the concerned family member, the one trying to protect others from your alleged chaos, all while being the source of that chaos themselves. They've been switching energies, presenting your spiritual signature as chaotic, while appearing stable and trustworthy to outside observers. But spiritual manipulation leaves traces, and those with the proper training can detect and reverse these influences. The federal investigators working your case include specialists in exactly these kinds of spiritual crimes, and they've been systematically documenting and undoing every manipulation that's been performed against you. The financial crimes your sibling has committed would be shocking enough on their own, but they're just the foundation of something much larger. They've been using a fraudulent power of attorney to access accounts that were established specifically for your benefit. Bank fraud on a scale that represents felony charges in multiple jurisdictions, identity theft that allowed them to redirect resources meant to launch your adult life. But the money was never the ultimate goal, it was just the means to ensure your destruction would be complete and permanent. They needed you poor, isolated and spiritually weakened to prevent you from ever discovering the truth about what they'd stolen. Every luxury they've enjoyed, every opportunity they've been able to pursue, every moment of financial security that allowed them to appear more successful than you, all of it purchased with resources that belong to your future. They've been living your life while forcing you to struggle through existence deliberately stripped of the tools you needed to thrive. The cruelest aspect of this theft isn't just the money itself, but the way they've used their stolen advantages to reinforce the narrative that you're the problem. They've been able to appear stable and responsible precisely because they've had access to resources you were meant to have, while simultaneously ensuring you'd struggle in ways that would make you appear unreliable to others. But financial crimes leave paper trails that are impossible to completely erase, and federal investigators have been following those trails with the patience of archaeologists reconstructing an ancient civilization. Every fraudulent transaction, every forged document, every illegal transfer has been catalogued as evidence in a case that will soon become a matter of public record. That profound romantic connection you experienced, the one that seemed destined until it suddenly turned toxic without explanation, that person is about to receive information that will change everything they thought they knew about you and your family. The spiritual manipulation that caused them to see you as dangerous or unstable is being systematically reversed by the same forces that have been protecting you throughout this ordeal. They're beginning to understand that their perception of you was artificially altered, that the family member who positioned themselves as your victim is actually the perpetrator of crimes against both of you. The devastating information coming to light about your siblings' activities is reaching them through channels they can't ignore or dismiss. This awakening isn't happening by accident. The spiritual guardians who have been protecting you have also been working to ensure that every person who was artificially turned against you would eventually receive the truth in a form they couldn't deny. Your counterpart is discovering that the person they were told to fear is actually the person they were meant to love, and that realization is catalyzing a transformation that will restore what was stolen from both of you. The connection you thought was lost forever is being offered a foundation of truth rather than the manufactured deception that was used to corrupt it. But this restoration comes with knowledge that will be difficult to process, the understanding that both of you were victims of a manipulation campaign orchestrated by someone who should have been protecting your happiness rather than destroying it. You've been thinking of yourself as the victim in this story, but the spiritual realm has been using your apparent vulnerability as the most sophisticated trap ever laid. Your role as the chosen one isn't just about your own evolution. You've been serving as divine bait to expose someone who has been using spiritual gifts for manipulation and harm on a scale that threatened cosmic balance itself. Every attack you've endured, every betrayal you've suffered, every moment you've felt abandoned, has been designed to make your sibling reveal the full extent of their capabilities and crimes. You've been drawing them deeper into a web of evidence that will ensure their destruction is as complete as they intended yours to be. The federal agents building their case have been guided by the same spiritual forces protecting you, creating moments of perfect timing that materialists would call coincidence, but you're beginning to recognize as divine intervention. Your apparent weakness has been making your enemy overconfident, causing them to take increasingly desperate and illegal actions that have provided investigators with ironclad evidence of crimes spanning multiple jurisdictions. Your sibling thinks they're untouchable, protected by their careful manipulation of family dynamics and their success at isolating you from potential allies. They have no idea that their every move has been anticipated, their every crime documented, their every lie recorded by forces both earthly and divine that are preparing to deliver justice with precision that will leave no room for appeal or escape. The trap has been set for longer than you can imagine, and now it's about to spring shut with force that will crush everything they've built on your stolen foundation. The same government agents who have been meticulously building the case against your sibling have been simultaneously evaluating you for something unprecedented in the history of federal law enforcement. They've been documenting not just the crimes committed against you, but your responses to those crimes, your ability to maintain integrity under pressure that would break most people, your intuitive gifts that allowed you to sense deception even when you couldn't prove it, your spiritual resilience that kept you anchored to truth despite systematic gaslighting designed to make you question your own sanity. These aren't just investigators, they're recruiters for a division so classified that most government officials don't know it exists. A specialized unit that handles cases involving spiritual terrorism, energy manipulation, and crimes that cross the boundaries between physical and metaphysical realms. They need someone who understands these phenomena, not from textbooks, but from surviving them firsthand. Your sibling's greatest mistake wasn't just attacking a chosen one, it was demonstrating exactly why the federal government needs people like you in positions of authority. Every manipulation technique they used against you, every spiritual weapon they deployed, every method of energy theft and relationship corruption they employed, all of it has been catalogued as evidence of threats that require a new kind of law enforcement response. They're preparing to offer you a role that will allow you to prevent what happened to you from happening to other chosen ones. Your survival of systematic spiritual and financial terrorism has qualified you for a position that carries federal authority to investigate and prosecute crimes that most people don't even know are possible. The very gifts that made you a target are exactly what make you invaluable to forces working to protect others from similar predators. Your sibling is beginning to sense that something fundamental has shifted in the spiritual atmosphere around them. They can feel it in ways they can't explain, a growing instability in everything they've built, a sense that forces beyond their understanding are moving against them with increasing intensity. The fear is starting to show in ways they can't completely hide. Their confidence is cracking as they begin to sense that the very person they've been systematically destroying might have connections to power structures they never considered. They're realizing that you weren't just another victim to be manipulated, you were someone under divine protection, and interfering with your path has put them in a position of cosmic danger they're only beginning to comprehend. They're starting to understand that every attack they've made against you has been an attack against someone who has direct access to universal justice. The spiritual realm listens to you in ways it doesn't listen to others, and your calls for truth and justice have been heard by forces that make earthly authorities look powerless by comparison. The people who helped them, who participated in the lies and financial crimes, are also beginning to comprehend the magnitude of what they've been involved in. They're seeing that you weren't just another person to be pushed around, but someone whose enemies would face consequences that extend far beyond legal punishment into realms of cosmic retribution that they lack the spiritual development to even understand. Everything that was stolen from you is being restored, but the universe doesn't simply return what was taken, it provides compensation that reflects the magnitude of the injustice. The inheritance that was fraudulently redirected will be returned with interest and penalties that will exceed the original theft. The opportunities that were blocked will be replaced with options so superior that you'll understand why the originals had to be removed from your path. The Obsidian Inner Order, never gonna give you up, never gonna let you walk through this awakening alone, never gonna scroll past your suffering like it's just content. This isn't just a rickroll, it's a lifeline in disguise. I built the Obsidian Inner Order because too many of us have been exiled for seeing the truth, cast out by family, gaslit by cults, haunted by gifts we didn't ask for. So now, we gather, every week, live on Zoom, real people, real faces, a former CFO turned psychic, a seer who escaped Mormonism, a healer who broke free of ritual abuse. And yes, the calls are recorded, so when you're on the floor you can come back to the field. We're not a meme, we're a miracle, and we're never gonna give you up. Join the Obsidian Inner Order, link in the description. You're being positioned to step into a role that will prevent countless others from experiencing the kind of systematic spiritual and financial terrorism you've survived. Your ability to maintain integrity despite everything that was done to you has qualified you for a level of authority that few people ever achieve. The federal investigators who have been building the case against your sibling are preparing to offer you something unprecedented, the opportunity to use your gifts in service of justice on a national scale. They've recognized that your intuitive abilities combined with your first-hand experience of sophisticated manipulation make you uniquely qualified to help with cases involving similar crimes against other chosen ones. This isn't just about personal vindication, it's about stepping into your destiny as someone who protects others from the spiritual and financial predators who mistake sensitivity for weakness and attempt to harvest energy from those they perceive as vulnerable. Your sibling's carefully constructed network of lies is experiencing systematic collapse as the truth spreads through channels they can't control or monitor. Every person they convinced that you were the problem, every relationship they poisoned with manufactured evidence of your instability, every professional connection they corrupted with false narratives about your character, all of it is being exposed simultaneously. The federal investigation is about to become public knowledge, and when it does, everyone who participated in or enabled the crimes against you will face consequences that extend far beyond legal punishment. Their reputations, their relationships, their carefully constructed lives built on the foundation of your stolen resources, all of it is about to crumble with the kind of finality that comes when cosmic justice finally manifests in earthly form. But the most devastating revelation for your sibling isn't the legal consequences they're about to face, it's the realization that they've been fighting against forces they never understood. The chosen one they thought they were destroying has been under protection so sophisticated that their every move has been not just observed, but guided toward this moment of complete exposure. The spiritual realm doesn't forget injustices against those who serve the light, and the patience of cosmic forces shouldn't be mistaken for absence of power. Your sibling is about to learn that there are consequences for spiritual crimes that make earthly punishment seem gentle by comparison. Ancient forces older than recorded civilization have been actively working on your behalf throughout this entire ordeal. Egyptian deities whose names carry power that would make your enemy's blood freeze have been positioning themselves as your protectors, and their involvement isn't symbolic, it's devastatingly real. These aren't gentle spirit guides offering comfort and wisdom. These are warrior gods who have zero tolerance for the kind of spiritual terrorism your sibling has been practicing. They've been systematically dismantling every dark practice used against you, neutralizing every curse, reversing every energy manipulation with the kind of divine fury that reshapes spiritual landscapes permanently. Your sibling thought they were so clever with their spiritual interference, their energy switching, their manipulation of cosmic forces to serve their petty human greed. They had no idea they were declaring war against pantheons of power that have been maintaining cosmic balance since before their ancestors learned to speak. The audacity of using spiritual gifts to harm a chosen one has triggered responses from divine hierarchies that don't forgive, don't forget, and don't show mercy to those who abuse sacred knowledge. These Egyptian guardians have been working in perfect coordination with every other force protecting you, creating a web of divine intervention so sophisticated that every move your enemies made only entangled them deeper in their own destruction. The spiritual realm doesn't just protect its chosen ones, it teaches lessons to those who dare attack them that echo through dimensions your sibling lacks the spiritual development to even perceive. Your sibling understood something that most people never grasp, that certain individuals carry spiritual energy so potent it can literally fuel the success and abundance of others. They've been systematically harvesting your life force, your creative power, your spiritual magnetism, using techniques that allowed them to appear successful while leaving you drained and struggling. This wasn't just metaphorical. This was actual energy theft on a scale that constitutes spiritual grand larceny. Every time you felt inexplicably exhausted after family gatherings, every time your motivation seemed to evaporate without cause, every time you found yourself struggling with depression or anxiety that felt foreign to your natural state, these were the after effects of having your spiritual essence systematically drained by someone who understood exactly how to harvest and redirect life force. But here's what your sibling never anticipated. The moment you became conscious of what was happening and called your energy back, everything they'd built on your stolen spiritual foundation began to collapse immediately. The success they'd achieved, the relationships they'd maintained, the opportunities that had flowed to them, all of it was sustained by energy that was never theirs to begin with. The reversal has been absolute and devastating. Not only have they lost access to your spiritual power, but the cosmic forces protecting you have been actively reclaiming every particle of energy that was stolen, with interest that compounds in ways that will leave them spiritually bankrupt. They're about to experience the kind of emptiness and struggle they engineered for you, but without the spiritual resources to cope with it, because they never developed any real power of their own. Your departed loved ones haven't just been watching this unfold. They've been serving as key witnesses in a case that spans multiple dimensions of reality. The dead don't forget injustices against those they cherished in life, and they certainly don't remain passive when they witness systematic spiritual and financial terrorism being committed against their chosen family. These souls who knew you before this ordeal began have been providing testimony to cosmic courts of justice that operate on timescales and with authority that make earthly legal systems seem like children's games. They've been documenting every crime, preserving evidence of every manipulation, ensuring that when justice finally manifests, it will be so complete and overwhelming that appeal will be impossible. But their involvement goes far beyond serving as witnesses. They've been actively guiding the federal investigation, creating those moments of perfect timing when crucial evidence surfaces exactly when investigators need it most. They've been influencing the spiritual awakening of your counterpart, ensuring that the artificial barriers created by your sibling's manipulation would crumble at precisely the right moment. Your departed loved ones know something that your sibling never understood, that you were never meant to walk this path alone, and that the spiritual realm doesn't abandon its chosen ones, no matter how isolated they might appear to earthly observers. They've been working tirelessly to ensure that every person who was turned against you through deception would eventually receive the truth in a form they couldn't deny or dismiss. As federal agents prepare to make contact with you, as spiritual guardians step forward to make their protection visible, as your counterpart awakens to the reality of what was done to both of you, the isolation that has defined your recent existence is about to transform into connection more profound than anything you experienced before this ordeal began. You're about to understand that every moment of loneliness was preparation for relationships based on truth rather than manipulation. Every financial struggle was clearing space for abundance that reflects your actual worth rather than artificial scarcity created by theft. Every spiritual attack was strengthening gifts that will now be used to protect others from experiencing similar devastation. The sibling who tried to destroy you has instead catalyzed your transformation into something more powerful than they ever imagined possible. Their greatest fear, that you would discover your true nature and step into your full power, is about to be realized in ways that will make their worst nightmares seem optimistic. You survived everything they could devise to break you. You maintained your integrity despite systematic attempts to corrupt your character. You held on to truth despite being surrounded by lies so sophisticated they fooled everyone except the forces that matter most. You are no longer the person who began this journey feeling isolated and confused. You've become someone who understands that apparent abandonment can be preparation for protection beyond ordinary comprehension. You've learned that spiritual gifts aren't vulnerabilities to be hidden, but tools for justice that will be used to prevent others from suffering what you've endured. The inheritance that was stolen will be returned multiplied. The relationships that were corrupted will be restored on foundations of truth that make them stronger than they could have been without this testing. The reputation that was attacked will be rebuilt with evidence of your character that makes previous lies impossible to believe. But most importantly, you now know who you really are, a chosen one who has been tested by forces both human and cosmic, who has emerged not just intact, but transformed into someone capable of wielding spiritual authority in service of universal justice. The protection that surrounded you throughout this ordeal will continue, but now you understand its purpose. The gifts that made you a target are revealed as the very qualities that make you invaluable to forces working to maintain balance between light and darkness in this world. Your sibling's greatest mistake wasn't just attacking you, it was underestimating the spiritual significance of who you really are and the cosmic consequences of interfering with your destiny. They thought they were destroying someone weak and alone, but they were actually challenging forces that make earthly power structures seem like children's games. The real work begins now, but you begin it as someone who has been tested beyond what most souls will ever endure and proven worthy of powers that will reshape the spiritual landscape around you. You are victorious. You are vindicated. You